So what are we going to do today is learn HTML, CSS or MERN, also MERN, by project-based learning. This is going to be a long video. Maybe yes, maybe not. Okay, I'll take it slow. I'll explain the code maybe line by line or by four line at a time. But what I really have here is the full developed personal portfolio of me. Okay, you can build it also. So this video will be about building personal portfolio by your own from scratch. You don't need to watch tutorials. Okay, this is kinda like a tutorial, but not exactly like that because I'm not going to guide you through each and every step. What I am really going to show you here is the thing that what elements needs to be there in CSS for your basic structured HTML. Okay, so should we start? Okay, I'll start by showing you what I have here. I'm not going to turn my camera because it's too much effort. I would rather show it on the screen. Okay, so here is it. Okay, here is the code, the HTML and CSS, both of them. Try to have a close-up look. Okay, what you can see here is just a structured HTML where I can show you what is the output of it. So first of all, what I would really like to do is unlink the CSS. Okay, so here we go. I might as well show you, right? So what I want you to do is just look at this side. Okay, just look at this side of the screen. Okay, here is the HTML lines where I've written it. This is the basic structure, which we start with the boilerplate. Here we have linked the CSS style sheet, link, uh, link column, and then style, whatever name you have already saved for it. Okay, so here we go for the header. All right, header. What's the difference between header and header? Header is actually the metadata for the website. It is not. It does not go actually in the inside the body. It is not the content. Okay. So header class header we write the name in the h1, and then we create a para. Okay, front end developer section class for about. Okay, why are we writing section class? Because you see, when you have to create such elements in CSS, you have to design them. Like if you have to design them in CSS, if you want to style it up, what you do is give them a class, whatever name you have written here, and then go into the CSS file. Okay, like I have written header, so you can see that here is header, dot header, curly brackets, and whatever properties I have written here would be applied to that specific header class, whatever is inside the element of header, which is the name, front-end developer in the paragraph, about me. Okay, background color would be black. Now, about me, another section class of skills, then contact. This is just basic HTML. You can design it on your own. Now, what I would really like to do is comment out the link part. Here we did it. And when we open it in browser, okay, maybe I need to turn down the brightness. Yeah, as you can see, it's not actually black and white. It's more like of a light gray and dark gray where my name, about me, and contacts is written. So this is what happens without CSS file. Okay, and if we go back and unlink it, I mean link it and open it. Here we have it. The name is aligned in the center, the front-end developer is aligned in the center, and we have containers for HTML, CSS, the skills which I have. As you can see, the skills is not actually written here. It's not part of the content because as I said before, the things which goes inside the content are different than we write in the div.class or whatever you may decide. Now, why is it so basic? Will be saying like, man, you have such a basic website. I'm like, bro, just wait, I will tell you the reasons. Okay, first of all, I would really like to explain each and every element where I've designed, which I've designed in CSS. First of all, what we will do is select what is this star sign. It is called universal selector, which we always put in the front or at the start of the CSS code. Now, why have I written it? Thing is, if you really want to learn CSS, you have to learn the first part, which is universal selector. It selects every element in the HTML body and it applies those properties to it. What is box sizing, border box? Well, box sizing is actually the content whichever it would be in the body in the HTML. The thing is, what it would do, that it is going to size them up. And where I've written border box, what it does is sorry, shit. What box sizing the border box it does is very simple. Whenever we are trying to add an element, it has its own padding and margin. Okay, we have also set margin and padding to 0 because when we write and code, HTML code and open it in browser, it always has its own default padding. So we have to reduce it to 0 so that we can style it later according to our own taste. Okay, and what border box does it, when we have already defined the size of the web page, it does not increase when we put an element into it. Okay, like the 100 pixel is the size and we insert a 20 pixel element, what it would do is it would increase to 120 pixel, but we don't want that, right? We would want it to stay in the 100 pixel. So box sizing border box does exactly the same by keeping the element in such a way that the total width would stay 100 pixels. I just said 100 pixel as an example. And now we go for the body. The body part in the HTML, as you know, contains everything. You put the background color to F4, which is kind of a gray color, not actually white, which would burn your eyes. Then we have font family, Arial, Helvetica, and Sans Serif. Now you would ask, why keep three font family in there? Why keep three fonts? So the thing is, if your computer does not have Helvetica or Arial, it goes to sans serif. And each goes for the same. If one does not have it, it can goes to the other. If not, Arial is not available, it will turn into Helvetica. And if Helvetica is not available, it will turn into sans serif. Okay. The line height, we have to put it 1.6. You can state it any otherwise. You can choose your own height. Okay. Line height is another element which you can use. Now I'm not going to explain line by line, although if you want I can. All right. So another color we would choose is 333. That is also let's just say you can ask any AI or GPT to choose colors for you, to choose the themes for you, which I did exactly here. I'm not saying I did not use ChatGPT to build this, but yes, the thing is you have to know some themes and choose your own. All right, here we go for the header. Header is the another part. So one thing in a header is we set the background color to black, which is not exactly black, it is totally kind of gray, dark gray. And the color is, yes, that is also off-white. Padding goes for 40 pixel, 20 pixel. Now why have we written 2? You could have done in 20 pixel only, right? And then put the semicolon. But the first the 40 pixel, which is the first like consider it x comma y, which we use in defining vectors. Okay, which you may have studied or may not have studied, I will explain. We can write two of them. Like the first one will define itself to from top to bottom 40 pixels is required. Okay, the space between the from the top and bottom has to be 40 pixel. That's what it does. And 20 pixels between that, like here's an element, 20 pixel space would be written here, 20 pixel space would be written here. And also I need to explain this thing, which is line height. 1.6 line height between, which means the space between the lines. 1.6 means it has to stay 1.6 times of the font size. The font size is this, then 1.6 times would be the space between each lines. Now this is not going to apply, it is going to apply in the website. So just for a reference, I'm going to show it. Okay, not going to show it, just explaining it. Here goes the header. Now in header, what comes? As you can see in the HTML code written here, there is header, the name, paragraph. In the section class, we created about me. I'm learning this, and that. Okay, wait a second. Yeah, it is all good. So yeah, where was I? Where was I? Header h1. Now, why did we write header and then header h1? The thing is, if we need to control the elements inside the header, which is header h1, which is my name, we can write it specifically like dot header space h1 and then start the curly bracket. The font size goes to 2.5 rem. There are many types of, you can write pixels, you can write rem, any kind, there are various. If I have to go into deep in that, they are, I guess, the basic four types of sizes or metrics are there. Okay, now here we are. Header h1, then we go for the header p. Header p, where is header p? Let's find it. Yes, here is the introduction, right? Header p, we have defined the header p. You can choose not to edit them. Okay, you can choose, it's not necessary to always edit anything. Section, now what's in the section? Section lies the skills. The skills grade, right? Now I may be a bad at this, that why is this guy so boring? Okay, so don't worry about it, try to bear with me. I'm just here explaining my project. Now, as you can see, I have colored the HTML, CSS, React, JavaScript, all those words into a black highlight with some border radius. It's curved, it's not actually a box, correct? If we have to look at it, focus at it, you can see that it's curved. That's what border radius does, okay? I will explain to you little in short what's border radius. Border radius is when you want an element to have a border, to have curves. That curve can be controlled by border dash radius, and you can set it to any kind of pixels. Okay. Oh, did I lose you? You may have darkened it a little too bit. Okay. Here we go for the section. We have put the max width to the 900 pixels. Why are we doing this to the section? Because when the screen changes, the screen layout changes, we don't want our content to fall out of that. It will stay under 900 pixels. The content would not overflow. Alright. We have also set the margin. Margin is the spacing inside the element. Okay. If I'm not wrong, I was wrong. The thing is, margin is the outer space around an element. Okay. See, this is an element and we have to create 10 pixels margin. What it would do, it creates space around it, 10 pixels. And padding is inside the element, the space inside the element. Okay, this is the element, there are various things in it, we create padding. So yeah, it separates them. That's the simple thing. If you have to learn it in simple, don't make it too complicated, guy. Okay, so where were we? Now if you go to the skills grid, I have created some span. I have divided into HTML, CSS, React, JavaScript. I can also do display flex. Now what is display flex? Whatever you have written in HTML, if you want it to display in a, let's say, horizontal manner, you would just type display colon flex. If the items are written line by line, it will come in a single line. That's it. That's it, what it does. You don't need to understand it very deeply, but that's the simple thing it does. If items are one by one to the down, and if we choose display flex, what it will do, it will align those texts or the content in the same line. Alright. Now, as I said before, we will come to the skills grid span. Okay, which is But I'm just going to hover over the mouse, which is this skills grid span, which is what here in HTML. HTML, CSS, React, JavaScript. Now, as I asked you before, that yeah, if we have to create curve structure around those, we have to write border radius 5 pixel. We told the CSS that okay, do this color, which is very off gray or white. Okay, border radius set to 5 pixels. The more pixels you increase, 5 to 15 to 25, the more curvature it is going to gain. Okay, we have set the background color, and after everything we have done, it does not finish the website just yet, because there's one more thing. We are designing the website on the layout, on the web page, on a computer, on a laptop, which has a different screen layout. So what would happen if someone opens that website on a phone or a tablet? The layout has to break, right? Or no? No. It would break, because already we have already set some rules in the code that it has to set this weight, it will utilize this much empty space and whatever. I will like to go on and about, but the simple rule is whenever you are trying to make a website, you have to align it for the mobile devices and the tablets. The PC screen is like this 4 is to 3. If you have a box of a screen, if you have a laptop, it can be 16 or to 9. But if you have a phone, it is 9 into 16, which is like this, correct? And if you have a tablet, it can be more weirder. So there is one thing in CSS which you can write is media query. Like what happens, and we will write at media, and we would add some, let's just say maximum width 760 pixel. All right, what is it written here? Yes, maximum width 600 pixels. Okay, like if the screen size reaches 600 pixels and does not go more than that, it's not allowing the content to go more than that, we can set some standards or some constraints in that okay, we would like to do header h1 this much size, the font size this much size if the screen is 600 pixel, and the margin to the, let's just say x comma y 20 pix comma auto or 20 pxl comma 50 pixel, and so. So if you have any questions, just ask. And if you don't, well, you did this. I mean, I did this. You can do this too. I did this in one sitting. Build a common HTML page and then write CSS and then style one element at a time. Okay, one element at a time, and ask ChatGPT or Gemini to just insert few elements or new queries so that you can learn more things. Happy journey.